reconnaissance guy, communications reconnaissance guy, he comes over and slaps me on the helmet. He's like, "Hey, Irv," that's what everybody called me, "Irv, get back in it." And slap me in the helmet, rings my bell a little bit, and I look back over the embankment, try to engage. I'm like, I can't. He's like, "Come over here to me. That sniper, he's not even shooting at me." So I go over here, follow him, like underneath this fallen tree. Um, Come up behind or underneath the tree, and as soon as I come up, we start getting engaged by the sniper again. So he pushes me away. He's like, "No, dude, that he's after you." And I'm like, "What?" I make my way back up the embankment, and that's when the PL is like, "Irv, get this son of a," and I'm like, "Roger, Roger that, sir." And
You're back in the game now.
back in it as best as I could be. I just knew I couldn't get this guy. I'm like, and it was a hard weight to carry, I guess, a heavy weight to carry, to have like your commander, your platoon leader be like, "Hey, get this guy," because he just shot me. He shot cop. We didn't know he was going to die, and he had shot Watkins. So I had forgot another sniper who was attached to us. He got shot in his ankle. So we got 3 down, and he's like, "Irv, get this guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I will," Never did. But we ended up picking up and moving the wounded. We're like, we have to get out of here.
How long were you in that ravine? Do you know?
About an hour.
An hour down there.
It was a while, man.
How far into that was cop hit? Like 20 minutes?
Oh no, as soon as we jumped in.
Right away.
Like 45 minutes to right away. As soon as we.
So he's in there for. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it was surgery inside in the water. He's bleeding out. By the time I saw him, he was as white as like a sheet of paper, and he was checked out. Like when he passed by me and we're passing his body up, I volunteered. I'm like, "You know what? I'm going to cut off. I'm going to go to the end of the formation. That way, if anybody hops in the ravine and starts to shoot, I'm just going to eat it with my plates on my back, and that allowed them to keep going." So I volunteered to go to the rear. Pemberton took Cop's backpack full of ammo and stuff, and we start moving. But by the time I saw him, he was barely hanging on to life.
Did you say anything to him?
Yeah, hold your breath, because they were going under to get cover, and every time they went under, like he would.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he wasn't like really holding it. He was checked out, essentially. But every time we'd go under, you hold his breath and come back up to get cover. It was brutal for the whole 300 meters damn near. Get up to the 300-meter mark, and I'm like, "All right, me and Pemberton, we're going to volunteer now from the back of the formation to go to the front. That way we can get into the compound and get the high ground. So that way, once we have the high ground, the rest of those guys can make it into the compound." And as soon as we, I was waterlogged, everything was waterlogged. Half my mags were like jammed full of mud and water and all types of crap, man. I get out, start to make my way to the safe house, and like the earth opened up. That's what it felt like. Felt like World War III, like the earth just shook. And I got down thinking that, dude, I'm down. I thought I was dead. Like my body was chopped up, from just machine gun fire. Pemberton looks back at me, and I just saw his eyes big as shit. And he comes and he just handful of me. Pause. Just grabbed it. He just grabs a handful he just grabbed a handful of me, man. And he's like,
"Oh, we finally got a pause in here."
Yeah.
I bit my tongue. I've had such good self-control not saying pause to so many guests, but I'm glad you did it.
"Oh, good. You got to have the breaks every once in a while." Yeah, he grabs me, man, and he starts dragging me back, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing, man? Get down." I'm like, "We're getting shot at." He's like, No, those are our guys." So I look up above him, and I see the safe house, and up on that rooftop, there's it's like 4 or 5 guys with machine guns up there.
Lighting them up like the 4th of July.
Just like that. And It was all like balls to the wall, man. I'm like, I've never, even in training, I've never heard a machine gun team just lay that much hate down. It scared the hell out of me. and finally make it on to the inside. And there's a picture on the internet of when we first made it through that into the safe haven, the walls of the safe haven. That's what we called it. This little building that we had took over, this compound. And I look back at Pemberton, made sure he was okay. And the first sergeant who was in there, he's like, I need you guys on the rooftop. And I thought when I got in there, I was going to let me just catch my breath, you know? No time for that. Get on the rooftop. I look back in Pemberton, I'm like, dude, we're killing everybody. Anybody who posed a threat, you were going to get hit. He just shook his head. We went up there and went to work, essentially. And yeah.
Is that it?
That's the one with the Marine Corps. So that's where I was up on, with the Marines. That's where I shot the guy with the RPG. And the picture down there is right after we were getting lit up, right there with the Marine. Yeah. Oh, wow, they even got my little karate picture up there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was cute. I stayed in karate for like 2 weeks and quit. They wouldn't let me break a board. That's the reconnaissance. No, that's the reconnaissance comms guy. Pemberton's down there on the bottom. Yeah.
Is that him with you, the second one?
Yep.
Right
That's
there?
him. That's Pemberton right there. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So this is right afterwards. And it's a little fuzzy because these aren't popping up all the way, but your face just looks like you've seen a ghost.
Bro, it was bad. I hadn't slept in days. I was so, mentally I was checking out right about there. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of stuff, but
they put you right up on this roof to go to work.
Yeah. I got to send you those pictures, man. But, yeah, we did, and stayed up there. It was so freaking hot. Yeah, it was hot, man. It was people all over the place. I could see further than what I could shoot, people like getting dropped off in vans, like a sliding door vans hopping out, and they had RPGs and all types of shit on these little moped bikes. Like 5 dudes somehow fit on one moped bike, and they were getting dropped off like that. It's the weirdest thing, man. And I'm trying to engage these guys. We shot a lot, and we shot a lot of people. The closest engagement was like 20-something feet away, and guys were trying to hop
20-something feet.
Yeah, they were trying to hop over the wall, this tall wall, to get into the compound with us.
You're hitting them with a sniper from 20 feet away.
Oh yeah.
What's that, like an exploding pumpkin?
No, I don't even remember seeing, like, it was so close that when the recoil happened, I couldn't see the impact. It was like,
oh my God.
I put the scope on a button. I remember the guy I shot had a plaid shirt. So we did like a Simo hit. These guys popped from around the building, and they're about to come up over the wall into our compound. So all the snipers on the rooftop picked a guy. I'm like, I got the guy in the plaid shirt. You got this guy in the white shirt or whatever. And
3, 2, 1.
Yep. Pull the trigger. Stack of bodies just folded on top of each other. Yeah, and I facilitated the medevac, the helicopter coming in with the Red Cross on the side. Old school, like Marine Huey helicopter. Landed in the field, and I'm laying down suppressive fire for them, watching Cop, Watkins, and the PL, who's not dead. It's just chest is messed up now.
He's doing okay, though?
He was still giving out, like, orders. Once the initial shock went over, all that, dude, he was still, like, making coordinations. Yeah, dude, yeah.
You said it, you described it like
hamburger meat. Just folded out of itself. It was disgusting.
And he's out there saying, you get on that goddamn ledge.
yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was like that, man. This badass dude. It wasn't a badass when he got hit. It was like a little girl. I can say that now. He made it. But yeah, he was anybody. I think if I would have got hit, I'd have been a little girl too.
You don't know how it would be till you do it.
No. Watkins got hit in the ankle, and like we made fun of him for like a year after that.
That's a bad place to get hit.
Yeah. And he cried.
I cried like a little bitch.
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, made fun of him for crying. I have a picture of him crying in the compound.
You hang that one above your bed too?
Right? I'm going to now. Send it to him. Hey, you remember this day? But yeah, dude. They all get on the helicopter. They leave out.
And Melvin's still with him?
Did he stay? He stayed with us, I believe. I'm not sure, actually. I think he stayed with us. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They had medics on the helicopter. I think Melvin stayed with us. But yeah, or maybe I don't remember that. That's a good question. I don't know where he went. He was the only other black guy in battalion. I have no idea where he went.
Damn it.
Right?
Just stick together.
I'm like, I always keep track of that guy. But now they all get on, man. They left. And I remember the first sergeant, he's like, if you got a bayonet, if you have a knife, hatchet, get ready. Like, this shit's about to go hand to hand. And they had already had a hand-to-hand incident getting to their objective to go capture their high-value target. Like, they were doing grenade warfare. Like,
Are you almost out of ammo too at this point?
I went in with 210 rounds and I left with 6 or 7 rounds. Yeah.
And you have a sniper. This is not even
Yeah.
like...
But it's a semi-automatic sniper. And
Still.
one of my mags was completely messed up. Like, it was jammed and I couldn't use it. But I was using the machine gunner next to me. We have essentially the same round. It's the same caliber, 308. But mine is a hollow tip boat tail. His is just like a ball. It's not as accurate, if you want to,
Got it.
But I'm delinking some of his rounds and putting him inside my magazine. Like, if this goes to shit, But he only has like so many rounds from his machine gun. He's like, I got half a belt. I'm like, damn, That's why the first sergeant was saying, if you have a knife, hatchet, something, get ready in case this goes hand to hand. We were going to remain overnight. So our guys who were still back at the compound, they were going to fly in and drop off equipment, roll them out the back of a helicopter, extra mags, extra water and everything. That never happened.
What about the HVT at this point? Do you have a
We got
status update on that?
Yeah, we had them. Yeah. The assault team, they were doing their thing while we were pinned down. That's why they couldn't help us. We got them.
So why do you still have to stay there? If you
to
already
keep fighting.
To fight the guys who are left?
Hell yeah. Rangers are about to fight. Like, that's what we do. We don't, it's the only time in Ranger Battalion where I've ever heard of us having to, like, disengage. This is the only time I've heard of it. We've called in reinforcements from the Marines that were, like, the ones we had helped out earlier. Forget how far away they were, but either way, they couldn't come out to that area. They said, we can't go into that area with anything less than a brigade. And a brigade is like a few thousand men. For the Marine Corps. And we're out there with like a handful of dudes.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that sucks. But they said, what you can do is run to us and we'll have some Humvees out there for you guys. We'll pick you guys up. But there's 5 guys on each Humvee already with the Marines. You got the driver, passenger, machine gunner, and 2 other guys in the back seat, I believe. There was a few with just 3 guys in there. Either way, it wasn't enough vehicles and not enough space, but we managed to somehow fit on and in all these vehicles. We ran out to them, so we've decided, hey, it's not the best time to sit here and fight this one out. We're gonna take our chances and just run out the back door, basically. And it's legit this big blue door in the back of the compound. They opened it up and you could see, almost a mile away, Marines on this little rooftop, or not a rooftop, a hilltop, parked their vehicles, Humvees. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll just volunteer. I'm going to go first. And Pemberton, I want you in the back, in the rear, and everybody else in the middle. We're going to run to these Humvees. And that's exactly what we did.
It's like a mile, you said?
A little under a mile, yeah. And when we get there, like, one of the things that not pissed me off, it was just weird seeing, like, Marines smoking a cigarette just chilling. I'm like, we just had the fight of our life. And you guys are, it is what it is. But they stuffed us in a vehicle. We drove back to the compound. And yeah, I remember sitting next to a prisoner off to my right side, waiting for helicopters to come in. And this guy was just mumbling, talking to himself. And I don't know if I can say this, but I pinched him. So I don't know. I was just fucking angry.
You pinched him?
Yeah, but
I
with
think you can say
these
that.
knuckles on the back
Yeah.
of his fucking arm. Yeah, I was just like, shut the fuck up. So I pinched him. And okay, pinched the shit out of him.
I mean, if they throw you in prison for that, we got a
Yeah,
problem.
I know, right?
We got an issue.
Pinched him, and I fell asleep after that. But I was woken up by the sound of a bullet cracking right past my ear. So I wake back up. I'm looking around like, okay, where's the fight? And everyone's just chilling, hanging out. I'm like, damn, I got I knew at that moment, like without a doubt, it's like I messed up, man. I was like, I'm scarred. Something's not right. I hear bullets cracking, you know.
What are your minus like not being you're not fully aware because you're still back where it
Yeah.
was. Minus that, like, what are your emotions? Like, is the adrenaline still pumping through your body?
Oh yeah. But I'm just so tired at this point. Like I'm exhausted, dude. I was like the rush was still there, but I was just exhausted to even feel the rush. I just wanted to get back to safety, relative safety, you know, and take a shower. Like I hadn't showered in a week, and you know, I was hungry, but
hadn't showered in a week.
Yeah, I was hungry a little bit, not too hungry, and I was tired, you know. Yeah, made it back to the compound, and like a couple of days later, as me and Pemberton were up on our little balcony of our compound, overlooking freaking Afghanistan, and our platoon sergeant comes up, and I knew something wasn't right because he was choking up, like he had tears in his eyes, and I've never seen him like that. And because we were the only ones on that mission out of the first platoon, he was like, just wanted to let you guys know Cop didn't make it. Boom. When he cried, he's like, if you guys need anything, let him know, but we got to go out tonight. And so get your shit ready. Went out that night, but it really messed us up big time.
Was that the first time you had lost one of your guys?
Yeah. Personal. Like I had just talked to Cop when they got there. And his birthday was coming up, and he was going to be old enough to drink, you know, or get back and get some beers. And never got a chance to see that. I mean, we drank before, but he would legally, you know, that old man, that hurt. And playing poker, I was not a big poker player, but I remember seeing him playing poker and taking a nap and talking to him, and like literally a few hours later, I just had water from him. Not even 3 minutes after that, like I'm tasting his blood now, you know. It's weird. That one sticks with me every day. We got to take a break though. Yeah.
Sure. We just left off where you were talking about that where you found out about Cop, and
Yeah.
you know, it never these are the kinds of things that I really appreciate about when we bring in you guys who have been over there doing this stuff, and you bring that home for us to understand what that is, because I've never experienced something like that. Obviously, everyone out there listening, we've had our losses, we've had people die around us, but to see someone, in that case 20 years old, cut down so short, doing all the right things, and bravely like rescuing people on the battlefield, I can't imagine that.
The kid, we were all kids, it felt like. Looking back at it, like back then, like I said, it felt like I was a grown man, you know, but you know, now that I'm older, you know, it's weird perspective to see the kid that I was doing the stuff that I was doing and the guys that I was surrounded with. It's weird, man, to even, to have lived through that and witnessed it and experienced it. And it's just weird that we were that young doing this stuff. It's crazy. Couldn't imagine.
It's not like you were doing it for 5 minutes. You were doing it for 6 years and as active in the military, and you did all kinds of deployments. This is a long time.
Yeah.
But now with so many years passed on that, and considering how young you were, does it feel like a blink sometimes? Like
Yeah.
it was it
Yep.
was so fast?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It feels like a blink of an eye. It really does. It exactly what it feels like. But when I sit down and I think about it, it's like sometimes new things will pop up, like, oh, I remember doing that. Or if I'm talking to like one of the guys again, I'm like, oh, I remember that, or I don't remember that. Like, yeah, Irv, remember when you did this and this? I'm like, dude, I have no recollection of doing any of that. But they remember it. And there's stuff that I remember that I used to not remember. And there's stuff that I forget, you know?
Yeah.
Mostly, I guess, because on purpose, I try to forget a lot of it, but there's this stuff that will never, ever leave, though, whether
You
I
know,
want to or not.
it's such a roll of the dice, though, man. I
Hmm.
mean, it doesn't matter. I've just learned this the hard way through all these stories I hear, not just on my podcast, but like obviously like all the stories you can see online of the dudes who have been out there doing this stuff. It's like the best ones sometimes are just in the wrong place at the
Yeah.
wrong time, and the best ones also are protecting the other people and
Hmm.
giving the ultimate sacrifice and everything, and it's devastating, but it's also like the ultimate, like how do you just have the mad respect for the legacy that person leaves, because
Yeah.
the imprint
Yeah.
he leaves on every one of you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can all see it,
Yeah.
hearing you talk
Yeah.
about it. That's a beautiful thing of it.
I agree with that. Yeah. Like my son knows about him, you know.
That's awesome.
Maybe not in depth, but yeah, he knows who the name is, and I have pictures on the wall of him.
Your son
His
like 7 or 8 or
7. Yeah, his mom gave me Benjamin Kopp's mom gave me his hat, one of his favorite hats. I have a few of his personal items that his mom gave me. Met his mom, yeah, friends with his mom, and
that's cool.
yeah. So that legacy definitely. And he donated his organs. I think he saved like 20 lives after that. One lady has his heart. Oh, I forget her
Whoa.
name. Someone has his eyes. Like, yeah, he's still in that regard, he's still alive.
Now
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Big time. I think that's really neat, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Circle of life shit
It
right
really
there.
is. It really is. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Did he have siblings too?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I believe his brother, but half brother if you are
Right.
yeah.
Uh,
Half. Yeah.
And that's another thing a lot of you guys do an amazing job of, like, connecting and taking care of the families
yeah.
that you never even knew,
Yeah.
in many cases,
Oh, yeah.
before, that type of stuff happens. That's cool that you did that.
Yeah, definitely. Good guy. Good guy. Still is, yeah. Oh yeah.
But you guys had to go out that same night when you
Yeah.
found out?
When we found out, when we got back, we went out to someplace in Kandahar city. And it was I think it was one of those missions just to like get you back on your feet, so it doesn't, you don't sit back in your room and you think about it all day.
Mm.
And then you're scared to do something. That's what I believe. Every time that we've had an encounter with like a close call or a loss or something, someone got shot, like we're going back out that night, just to not get caught up in that emotion, I guess. Yeah.
And so this is the one with the hole, right?
Shortly after that, yeah, where Pemberton fell down.
Yeah. What happened? This story was nuts. I
Yeah.
was reading this, like, it sounded like out of a sick and sadistic movie. The fact
Right.
that something like this even existed. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't picture it, because I'm like, what is that? What even is that?
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought, or I still think. Still don't know what it was. It was we were doing a mission. We fast roped in because of the terrain was too. It's not suitable for landing. Fast roped in, and we started this short little walk, like a few clicks.
At night.
At night.
Do you have night vision on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going at night to capture some guy. Before we even make it to his compound where he stayed at, we're walking almost a single file line. It's the only way we could walk along this portion of terrain. And I saw a shadow. It looked like just a weird shadow. And we all walked past it, like all 30 of us. For some reason, I'm behind the entire formation. Pemberton's behind me, so he's like the last guy. We would fluctuate. As we're walking, I see a shadow, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pass by it and just walk in the same footsteps as everybody else because landmines and stuff, you know.
Sure.
Um, Made it past this weird looking shadow, and then I heard like a weird my voice, my name being called, like my first name. I'm like, what the heck was that? I take my ear pro is halfway hanging out anyways. I like to keep my hearing protection like halfway in, halfway out, sometimes not in at all, so I could hear better or the way I like to hear. And I heard my name being called, and I turn around, and Pemberton's not there. I'm like, where the heck did Pemberton go? You know, maybe he went to go pull security somewhere. So I stay back and I look some more. I'm like, no, this isn't right. Pemberton's gone. So I'm walking back to find where could I possibly have left this guy at? You know, I just looked and he was there. Now
Where do I
he's
leave
not.
him?
Yeah. And I'm walking back and my feet come within like a foot of that shadow that I saw was this damn near like 40-foot wide circle hole in the ground. And it's just pitch black. So I stopped short of that. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I can hear Pemberton in it. And I'm like, dude, are you down there? And he's like, yeah, I need your help to come get me out. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess, you know. I'm like, how far down are you? And he's like, I'm like 10 feet. And I'm like,
No, the fuck
oh,
you're
yeah.
not.
I didn't know it at the time. This other guy, an assaulter, T, he comes over, and luckily, because I'm starting to dekit, I'm like putting my weapon down. I'm like, dude, it's 10 feet. I'm gonna clear that jump. It's gonna suck, but I'll at least get down in there and I'll help you get the ladder up. We can get out together. Um, I'm taking my stuff off, and the assaulter comes over and he's like, wait. He takes a chem light and he throws it down there. And I watch the chem light tumble, and then disappears and go, I can't see it anymore. And he looks over at me, and we both have eyes as big as saucepans, like, dude. And I'm like, hey, are you sure you're 10 feet? Are you down in there? And he's like, yeah. We didn't learn till later, but he thought up was that way, like straight ahead.
Oh shit.
And when he finally caught wind and saw where we were, he's like, oh, never mind. I'm not 10 feet. You guys are like a pin of light. So I call up on the comms. I'm like, hey, we got a man down. No, I called that first before T.I. came over. I'm like, we have a man down. And the PL is like, our platoon sergeant's like, we have a man down. Were we getting shot at? I'm like, no, there's a man down in the hole. And he's like, well, get him out. I'm like, roger that, but I need help. So he sent T over, and that's where I'm dekitting, and T stops me and drops the chem light down. So he's like, well, we just fast roped in. I'm going to go grab one of these ropes and bring it over here, and we're going to throw it down and X, Y, and get him out. But it was just him, and these ropes are like over 100 plus pounds. They're heavy, heavy ropes.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to run over these weird irrigation ditches that were like 8 feet tall, and they go down 8 feet. And he's doing this, and he's smoked by the time he makes it halfway. And I'm covering him with my rifle. I'm still talking to Pemberton. He's like, dude, I'm really cold down here. I mean, it's cold. And he's like, I don't know. I hear some stuff. And I'm like, dude, if I hear you scream or you start screaming, I'm like, I'm going to dump my entire mag down there. He's like, no, I'm cool. I said, I'm hoping I'm going to just kill the bad guys if there's anyone down there with you. I was like, he can't see anything. So I'm just going to shoot down in there, man. He's like, whatever, cool. T comes back over. He's smoked. He's like, dude, I can't. He's like, we have to call for CSAR, combat search and rescue, the PJs. They come in, took him a minute, but it was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard where a PJ goes down and he's like, they come back up without Pemberton. He's like, we need longer rope, more equipment to get him out. And he's like, dude, he's over 40 something feet. I'm like, how far down is he? And it was 75 plus feet. And
How
they
did he survive?
only fractured his fibia in his leg. That's the only thing that he hit. There was a wooden ladder down there, an old, like ancient wooden ladder, and he slapped it. His helmet was cracked or something. I know his Beretta, his pistol was bent. His pistol was bent. He lost his sniper rifle, and his pistol was bent. A pistol made of, metal,
Yeah.
steel was bent, but just his tibia fibula was fractured.
That's crazy. And it was water down there.
Yep. And they finally went down.
It's out of a Stephen King movie.
Yeah. They went down, they got him, and he looked like ass when he came up. But they got him. They were trying to recover his rifle. They dove an additional 40 feet and didn't reach
Couldn't
the
get
bottom. There was no bottom. It was just, I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm glad I did not jump down. I would have probably died or landed on top of him and killed him. Or I would have just died from sheer panic because I don't do that stuff. No, I'm not built for that. I'm built for certain things. That's not one of them. But he was calm the entire time. They got him out. We dropped some grenades down to try to collapse it in. That on itself to close the hole up, and the grenades are like blowing up 6 seconds, after you throw it down, and it never touched the bottom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, when I finally met up with him at the hospital, one of the PJs and the nurses were just confused. They're like, how did he survive that? What happened? He never touched the sides. But I asked him, like, dude, how long were you free falling for? So we printed up some Halo jump wings for him and took him to the hospital. And like, he was an official like Navy SEAL scuba skydiver. Gave it to him at the hospital.
Wasn't he like a Marine before
He was a
this?
Navy before. Yeah. No idea how he survived it, but he said he never touched the sides, and he had enough time to transition from his rifle to his pistol, whip it out, because he thought he fell over into a courtyard, and he thought when he hit the ground, it was going to be people around, and he was going to have to engage. But he had enough time to get off his sniper rifle and go to his pistol, all while falling, and never had no comprehension of like how far and how long he was falling. But he fell for long enough to do that. It's insane.
And survived.
Survived, came back that next deployment, and like killed a bunch of guys too.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he went home from this one. So this was a few weeks before you guys were going to be done.
Yeah. About a few weeks to about a month or so. I remember just being sad. I was like, man, it's like losing your best friend,
Yeah.
Then I had another replacement. Then he left after that. Then I was just by myself for a little bit, like for a couple of weeks. And that was just boring. Not boring. It was just by yourself and you have no one to talk to or, shoot the shit with.
Do you have a thought yet? Because you had said earlier you didn't want to be in the Army forever or anything like that.
Mhm.
But now that, you went through these insane different battles, obviously highlighted by the middle one, which lasted for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
You've had all these kills. Your partner's had all these kills. And now your partner's back home recuperating. You end up being alone. Like, are you having the thought, like, I've done it. I've seen it. I've had enough of this shit.
100%. I was at that level. I was so done, man. I was like, yeah, you're right. Been there, done it, tasted it. I'm good. And I just know that after that last deployment, if I did it again, went back, I'm like, I don't think I would have made it. I honestly don't think I would have made it. And there was guys on that next deployment, who didn't make it and just got like their entire life changed from being blown up and, just severely wounded. So I don't think I would have made it. I was tired of it. Like, you can only pull the ace out the deck so many times before
Right.
you finally get the Joker,
And it just felt like Afghanistan was starting to get crazy.
Yep. Yeah. I was all the way checked out. Had no desire to do it again. I was ready to be married now, I was married, but now have a chance to actually enjoy it, I guess. That whole time we were married, the first 2 years, I was training and
Right.
gone, I was home 2 weeks a total of 4 weeks out of the year. The other months were dedicated to deployment and training. You're only allotted that amount, 2 weeks before deployment and 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only time you're allotted off.
You said you didn't tell your wife about any of the stuff
No.
that was happening, so she has no idea
No.
what you've been going through.
No, she had a phone call when Pemberton fell down the hole, and she thought that I died. She's like, well, if Pemberton got hurt, then where's where am I at? And they're like, no, he's fine. And that's like the most she had ever heard, that like, oh, something happened, but he just fell down a hole. That doesn't make any sense. What's going on? She didn't know I was like killing people until I got back, and people were helping me download my equipment, get my rifles and stuff together. And some guys and a new guy who was just coming into the sniper section was like, dude, I heard you killed XYZ number. And she looked over at me and was like, this weird look like, what are you talking about?
You didn't kill
Yeah,
anybody.
basically that. Yeah. That's exactly, yeah. And we were riding down this it goes into Ranger Battalion, 3rd Ranger Battalion at Fort Benning, Georgia. And my old team leader, he was a Mexican guy, one of the best team leaders I ever had. And he had this red pickup truck, and he rolls up beside me, and Jess is in the passenger seat. He rolls up in his pickup truck, and he's like, dude, Reaper, I heard you killed her. And she does.
She's like, you got some motherfucking explaining to do.
That's where she first got that idea of, yeah, okay, I've killed people.
I'm married to the Reaper now.
Yeah, but I never talked to her about it. I never, even when she knew about it and she did ask, I was just like, I mean, I guess I killed some people, but I never had like, I didn't want to tell her how many. And I didn't want to tell her that, this wasn't my first rodeo. Like, I've probably killed more people as a machine gunner than I did as a sniper by far.
Really?
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you couldn't confirm all those because it's like there's so much shit going on?
Yeah, and it was just normal. Like, your average guy in battalion has got a lot of killing under his belt. It's just, as a sniper, it's extremely personal and rare. But, yeah, guys are, yeah. It's easy to kill someone in battalion, Ranger Battalion. At the time of war, it was easy, You're always in the fight, always in the fight.
How soon after getting back did you make the official decision to leave?
Right after. My contract was up in October. We got back in July. Yeah, cop died July 18th. We got back. So around August is when I got back. And my contract was up that following year in October 2010. So I made that decision around that time, August, September timeframe in 2009, that I was not going to re-up and redo that contract when it came that time in 2010. It's like, nope. And then, yeah, that was just, and because of the way the schedule was lined up, I was going to miss out on that next deployment because it would have overlapped my contract. So I just missed that deployment. If I would have re-enlisted and signed up for additional time, I would have made that, but there was no way.
Game wasn't in you for that.
I was done, man. Mentally checked out. I felt like I had lived the dream that I thought I wanted to live. Felt like I accomplished it. Do I wish I could have gone back and done more stuff? Yeah. Like,
well, you did get into private contracting, right?
Yeah. But it wasn't like Delta Force, you know? I didn't, I would have loved to, at a different time and era, throw my hat in for that. Do I think I would have made it? No. But it would have been cool to try out.
Why do you think you wouldn't have made it?
I'm not walking 40 miles, bro. For no one. for no one. No. I'm a 12-mile, 15-mile guy.
Okay.
But they're talking 40 in the mountains, and I'm just not doing that. No. It's not that important for me, Yeah, I got out, did contracting. So I remember the day I got out, man. We left the apartment complex, and I flicked off the apartment complex, and I flicked off Joe. I'm like, I'm never, ever coming back here. I hate Columbus, Georgia. I probably still do. I don't like Columbus, Georgia. But we hopped in a U-Haul truck. We had 2 German Shepherds and a U-Haul truck with all our stuff in it. And we drove down to San Antonio, Texas. Took a little bit over a day to get there. Got there, had to stay with my wife's mom for a few months. And
That's a while.
that's too long. That's why I went right back overseas to Iraq and picked up contracting. That's no joke. That's like one of the big reasons. So I was like, there was no other job really out there like that for me. So I said, I'm going to, pick up contracting. Took a shot at that, sent in my packet and got selected, went to the little training course and believe it was in New Orleans.
Who'd you work for?
Triple Canopy.
Okay.
Believe it was they're out of not Langley, Harmon, Virginia, something like that.
Lake Harmony? Is that?
No,
No, it's New Jersey.
somewhere in it starts with an H, Virginia. I forget what it's called, but
All right,
it's
somewhere
in Virginia. Went to their training facility out in Louisiana, New Orleans, somewhere around that area in Louisiana, and did it was WIPS, Worldwide Protection Services, diplomatic security.
Similar to Blackwater kind of deal.
Yep,
Yeah.
very similar. And took that route, passed, graduated, if you want to call it that. And within like a week or two after that class was over, I was on a plane to Baghdad, Iraq. But
What was that like now being on the private side versus
so
being in
fun.
the military?
So much, dude, you're so independent. It was the only time I got a chance to feel like I was I don't know, like I'm doing my own thing. I didn't have the micromanagement.
Yeah.
It was zero of that. It was just like, dude, this is your job. This is what you have to do. Be here at this time. This is the mission. Do it. Don't mess it up, and you get paid good,
Are you operating as a sniper in some capacities or
Yeah.
doing all different things?
I was not at starting off. Starting off, I was your basic, just private security, a part of a private security detail. I didn't hit the sniper or the designated marksman until way later into my contract. And you have to go to a training school out in Texas for it. They had one, I think, in Oklahoma at the time too. I didn't go to Oklahoma, but
Crazy they got to send the sniper named the Reaper to training school.
you learn a lot. You learn. It's different type of, not a different type of sniping. It's just, the people who you're protecting, they want to make sure that you, I guess, can shoot.
I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
could
a
shoot.
stack
Yeah,
of bodies
yeah,
that could
I could
probably
shoot.
attest to that.
I could shoot all right, and made it and got a chance to meet some cool people, do some really cool things.
You did this for a couple years?
Yeah, 2 years, and
What were would you go there for like 4 weeks at a time, come back for 6 weeks, or were you just pretty much there most of the time?
that time it was 3 months on, 1 month off. So yeah, go over for 90 days, 100 days, come back for a month, spend time with the wife, go back over. And one day I was just like, the day I was supposed to leave to go back, we had just bought a house, and my wife, she's getting ready in the bathroom to take me to the airport to go back to Baghdad. And I remember laying on my back, I look up at her and I'm just like, she's like, "Are you getting ready?" And I said, "Nope." She's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I'm not going." And it's like, "You serious? You're just not gonna go?" I was like, "Yeah, just come get back in the bed. I'm tired." And she, no joke, got back in the bed, and my phone started blowing up, ringing, like, "Hey." Just didn't answer it. It said, "Hey, you can come back whenever." Like when I was up for it or whatever, I had an open invitation. I got back in contact with them to square things on my end, and everything was fine. And I ended up doing something else, not in Baghdad, but for them.
What was Baghdad like at that point? Because obviously you had been going over there before you stopped.
Way
Like,
different. Way different.
how so?
It's cleaner, less bombs being dropped. I wasn't getting shot at like that. The girls dressed different. Like it was the first time I ever saw girls in like shorts. They were wearing shorts over there and stuff. And I guess they had picked up on some of the American culture.
This is like 2, 3, 4 years before ISIS, though. That almost sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, there were girls in shorts over there. It was not like it was far different from the Iraq that I saw, Baghdad that I saw. It was they had like clubs and stuff. Yeah, clubs and
Clubs in Iraq.
yeah. It was a pretty like big club
They
that
bumping like Soldier Boy. Like what's
honestly
going
have
on?
no idea what they were playing. A few of the guys that I was on the contract with on my team, they visited the club over there. Then we had mainly just it wasn't like war torn. It wasn't bad. Like Baghdad at least wasn't bad. There were places that were like sketch and you back of your hairs on the back of your neck stood up, but for the most part it wasn't like it was just far different from what I experienced and after the invasion and during some of the height of the war in Iraq. It was way different.
Were you working with mostly guys who had been like special forces?
Everybody.
Or it was
Yeah.
everybody.
I was like the only ranger for a while there. I was the only ranger on my team. We had 2 Green Berets. My team lead was a Green Beret of like 20 years or something like that. We had a Marine Force recon guy and 2 SEALs. No, it was an Army guy. No, it was 2 SEALs, 2 Green Berets, and we had some MARSOC dudes. But I was the only ranger. And we had a Delta Force guy. He wasn't on my team, though. There was a couple of Delta Force guys on the camp that I stayed at. They called it the man camp. But it was a interesting group of guys. Learned a lot. And you learn your place as far as like the totem pole of Spec Ops. And like coming from the Ranger Battalion, you feel that Ranger Battalion's the pinnacle, Then you get around these guys and you're like, hell no. They're extremely smart when it comes to planning and war fighting. Yeah, extremely smart. Like samurais.
I mean, the thing is though, like you left, but you essentially got right back in. You're doing something different, but you're back in the game. You're back in the action.
Oh, yeah.
You never really stopped. Like at least though, when you were going in under diplomatic protection, it sounds like the stakes are lower. You're less likely to run into shit. Obviously,
Yeah.
It wasn't like Afghanistan in '09.
No.
But like, where are you emotionally while this is happening? Because it's like since you were 18, all you've ever known is the Army, and more specifically, all you've ever known is war.
Yeah. Emotionally, I hit it really well. I think that you maybe couldn't tell that I was not feeling so well emotionally, but deep down inside, I hated every minute of it. I loved it, but I hated it at the same time because I just wanted to be home. I hated the way Iraq looked. I hated the way Middle East looked. Everything was just brown, sand colored. It had a certain smell to it. You come back to America and it smelled better. I could go to Walmart or I could go here and it was just a better time. I could drink whenever I wanted to. If I wanted to have a drink or I could do this or I could whatever. And I at least had my wife. But being over there, you're just around like 50 dudes all the time. And unless you're, nothing wrong with it, but unless you're broke, your wrist broke, it's not really, unless your wrist broke. I mean, it's not really what I don't want to be around 50 dudes,
Right.
every day, all day. It gets old after a while.
So when you made the decision to get out, staying in bed, did you have any idea what you wanted to do at that point?
No, just stay in bed at that point. that was it. That was it. Like I knew I had to do something, but I just didn't want to do the Middle East thing, the war thing anymore. I knew that. That's all I knew. So like for a while, I just literally stayed in bed, not for a while, it was like for a couple of days. And it felt good to just not wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and put this on and go do this.
Yeah.
It felt good.
A little bit of freedom.
Yeah. But then it became too much freedom to where you have too much time on your hands to where you think too much. And that's where it just went downhill from there of
How so?
the whole, everything, the trauma, I guess, the trauma that occurred overseas finally had time to settle in. Yeah. Big time. I think that was the the one thing that I think I take away from that portion, that time of my life was giving myself time to actually not do anything was good. It allowed me to acknowledge things that I had wrong with me, but bad in the fact that well, I have to deal with this now, and now I'm starting to relive things and feel certain things that I hadn't felt before or taken the time to even feel. That was the trade-off of it. But
You
yeah.
getting angry at all? Because like you're
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back into regular society, which is like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk night and day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of that. A lot of that. Yeah. A lot of self-medicating to try to figure something out. A lot of that. A lot of that.
Like alcohol.
You name it. Well, not you name it. It was alcohol and weed, yeah. And at one time mushrooms, but just every day.
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Different. But every day was alcohol, at least alcohol. Every day from the moment I woke up to
From the moment you woke up.
oh hell yeah. Yeah, I didn't drink water for like a year, dude. That's what it felt like. It was just Jack and Jack Coke and Bud Light or Coronas. From like a 40 pack and a bottle of Jack would be like the routine. If I couldn't finish the 40 of beer, I'd finish like half of it easily. And like half the bottle of Jack I would finish. And that's every day. Did that for about a year or two.
How'd your
single day.
wife handle that?
She barely hung on, man. Barely hung on. Like I wasn't like I was violent at times towards other people, yeah, and like she did bring her friends over one time, and that was a bad call. Think it scared a bunch of people that day. And then like with my family, like I don't talk to my family anymore, and
At that point,
still don't because of that time. Yeah.
you still don't talk with your family?
No, because of an incident that it was a little bit I was drinking, and the other part was disrespect from somebody in my family that I just don't do disrespect well, and it just got stupid on my behalf, and yeah, it just I think at that point people just saw who I had became from the person I was before I left, and who I had became was different in that aspect. And I don't think that they necessarily liked that person. I didn't either, but it is who I was,
But I mean, it's easy for me to say on the outside not being there, but at the same time, not to say like when you fuck up and do bad shit, you can always just write it off. But,
Yeah.
It's not like you went to fucking Costco for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like we've all, many people out there listening have had different members of their family. It doesn't mean they had to be in the military or something like that, but like go through stuff and like you change as a person, and sometimes there's very negative shit that happens. But maybe this is just how I operate. I'm more like, okay, however I can help them, guide them through this situation, I will. Not step on toes where I can't, but like they're dealing with something. It's not them at this time.
Exactly.
Eventually, they'll get back to being them. But it sounds like that's obviously you weren't like given that opportunity.
No.
That's a shame.
It can be if you think about it. Yeah, I agree.
But your wife hung with you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sounds
Never
like you got an
swayed.
awesome marriage.
Yeah, never swayed. She's known me since first grade, man. So she's seen all the changes from the little kid who used to want to be in karate to who I was and who I am today. She's seen all the changes. So for the good and the bad, but she's always been there. It's like the only consistent thing in life since then has been her. Yeah, the only form of consistency. That's the only one.
So you don't talk with your parents?
Not really. No. Like when I was overseas, I would have to be told like, "Hey, Irv, it's Mother's Day. Call your mom." I would call out of the like 3 months. I would maybe call once or twice. Just didn't. I don't know, man. It's weird. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. Just don't like. I don't I'm not like a really big talker. I can talk, like, I am now, obviously, but um, I'm like low key a loner. Not a loner. I'm just a very quiet person.
Yeah.
Naturally, just a quiet person. There's a lot going on up here. Like, I'm probably in a club right now in my head, but on the outside, you just get the, quiet me. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, you said earlier, like, your parents were always, they kept to themselves. Like, they didn't divulge a lot of stuff. I wonder if that's, like, kind of, and you're a quieter, more
Yeah.
introverted guy, too. And I can tell that talking with you today. Like,
Yeah.
you do great when you're going, but I can tell, like,
Oh, yeah.
we gotta get you there, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe that's like you have a similar gene to them in a way, but it manifests a little differently,
Different,
and that
yeah.
crosses the chords with you guys.
I agree. It very much so, man. Very much so. Very much so. It's just, I don't know. We're all different,
Yeah.
It just is, a world full of talkative people, I think I'd not want to be here, So, you gotta have the offsets. Yeah. Gotta have the offset.
How did you get through that period though? Like where you
Yeah.
because you're sober now, right?
Yeah.
For the
I
most
still,
part.
I mean, yeah. I smoke CBD. That's about it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But
If
point
that's
being,
what-
you're not facing Calico Jack to start off your mornings.
No. Hell no. Not
Yeah.
anymore. Not anymore. My liver couldn't take it, man. No. I've had enough. Had enough of Jack, man. Enough Jack. Big time. My wife, man, I would say is like it's like literally the only thing that's been like the consistency and and now my son, it's like I can't have him see that like that.
Right.
So that's like the icing on the cake, cherry on top for me is I can't either the stories I want left behind, like when he tells a story about dad, I don't want his stories to be like, man, dad was just a weird drunken dude,
Yeah.
I can't have that, when I go. At least that, Dad might be a weird dude, but at least he wasn't a drunk weird dude.
Right. Right. Way better.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
But you just kind of stopped. It sounds like you just kind of stopped doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
Took a while.
Cold turkey.
No, I went to AA one time and I didn't like that. Quit that. The second time when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this again. I just went cold turkey. But then I almost had to go to the hospital and do that whole thing of like
Oh yeah, because your
withdrawal.
body's
Yeah. It
shit.
was sick, man. It was sick. Wife took care of me and it really wasn't that bad,
That's good.
Wasn't that bad.
That's a good story. A lot of people obviously have trouble with that when they get that
Yeah.
dependent too.
I worked out, start working out more, and that was like a big game changer too.
Oh yeah.
Fill the time, like the time where I wasn't drinking, I was working out or something, I didn't have to worry so much about, waking up from sweats and like,
Right.
man, I need a beer or a shot to stop the shakes,
Ain't no
Yeah.
better medicine than working out.
Yeah,
It's the greatest thing
exactly.
ever.
Yep. Hell yeah.
I'm glad you got through that too. I mean, you seem like you're in a really good place. Too,
Oh yeah,
when I talk with you.
Yeah, I'm like a million times better than from when I first got out. But I don't think anybody's ever gonna be
Right.
yeah where we want to be. I don't know. Some people are where we want to be, but I think there's always room for like some improvement all the time.
You can't delete the tape in your head.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just how you do an amazing job now of managing that and
Yeah.
but everyone at different there's levels to this shit.
Exactly,
You gotta deal
yeah,
with it.
yeah.
And you're at a high level, obviously, because you saw things a lot of us wouldn't. But, it's when I talk with the guys like you who were also spending significant time in Afghanistan, the 500-pound elephant in the room, as well as that it didn't end well
Yeah.
long after you were already gone
Yep,
from there.
yep.
But you know, we all get those images in our head of August 2021 with the Taliban back taking control. They're using our fucking weapons that we left there. Obviously, the pullout was very fucked up. But, like, you know, I would never want to look at it like guys who go over there bravely, like, die in vain or anything like that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.